What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and TV. Today on a new episode of Fresh Cut, we are reviewing the newest adventure film to come out in the last, since what was the last time a movie like this came out? Like National Treasure?
Yeah,
what
maybe,
a shitty
I don't
intro.
know.
We're doing Uncharted. I don't know where I was going with that. We're talking about Uncharted, which came out, let's see, date?
2 weeks ago?
February 18th, 2022. It was directed by Ruben Fleischer, who is the director behind Venom.
Okay, I get that vibe. I get that.
And Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap. Those are his big his big claims to fame. But he was the final decision after so many directors came and went when it came to this project. This project has been kind of in development since 2008, which was a year after the first game came out. Like the producer, they just couldn't figure it out. The original Nathan Drake was supposed to be Mark Wahlberg. It should have been Nathan Fillion, dude. I'm sorry.
I know.
With that awesome fan-made film that they did a couple years ago, he killed it as Nathan Drake. But you know, they got to put. I mean, as much as I feel Nathan Fillion, his name is, you know, people know who he is. But why not put in Tom Holland? You know, it's Spider-Man.
He does have more marquee value.
And Mark Wahlberg, who's literally in 17 films a year. I mean, it's just, you know, those big time names.
Dude, listen, the last Mark Wahlberg movie I remember was the fourth Transformers film. Was Age of Extinction.
He's been in 25 since then.
Clearly, because they did. Oh God,
I don't hate Mark Wahlberg.
I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah, he's in a lot of things.
He's in a lot of things.
He is. But this also stars Antonio Banderas in a role that was like, it was exciting to see him in, and then when it's all said and done, you're like, oh well, that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
it was cool to see him as a villain though, because it's not. I don't think it's very often you see him as a villain in movies. Not that I remember.
No, he was kind of the villain in The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which I just saw a few weeks ago with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson.
Somebody just sent that to us. Frosty Feet. It was in that care pack. It's like, why the fuck did he send this to me? Like, I get the Godzilla versus Kong, but why this? And like, I was like, I'll watch it at some point. Is that an action movie too? Like, not to change subjects.
Oh yeah.
But...
Have you ever seen Hitman's Bodyguard?
No.
Oh, you should see that one. That one's better. That's the first one. That's better. But if you didn't know, this movie is based off of the hit Sony PlayStation video games by the same name, which behind me I have my collection here because I love this game series. It's one of my favorite game series of all time. So
where's number 4?
I let my brother borrow it, so I don't have that one or Lost Legacy behind me.
Where's the PS Vita game?
Oh, it's somewhere.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just kidding.
Wait, no.
I put him on the spot.
Hey, I don't know. It's there. I have it. I do have it. I have not beat it, but I do have it.
I never played that one. I don't think we ever had it.
It was a prequel to the original.
Yeah,
I remember what I remember.
I have played 1 and 2, and I have beat 1 and 2, but I've never played 3, 4, or Lost Legacy.
3 is great. I mean, to be honest, the entire series is great. It's like I said before, it is one of my favorite video game series of all time. And to finally get, I mean, when you play these games, these are perfect. Like they're already movies. It's just you're playing them. So when you look at it and you go, okay, how do we make a movie based on Uncharted? I feel like it's pretty easy. I mean, Uncharted is pretty much a modern day take on Indiana Jones.
True.
As you know, Nathan Drake is just, I think, even a more eccentric and more like just craziness is happening Indiana Jones, and it's taking place in modern times. So, I mean, if you've already done it before, it's probably not that hard to do it again. And you have all this source material to go by, which this movie takes pieces from different games. Like, it's not all like based on the first game. They take parts from the first, second, third, and fourth and squeeze it into this movie.
I legit only recognize like one main thing from this. Well, two.
Is that the cameo?
Well, no, not that. But just
no.
I'll mention it when we're talking about it.
I've never played any of the games, so I didn't recognize it.
You need to play.
I say you have a PlayStation 5 now, so you can play the up-resed version of all of them.
All of them, and they're all like most of them are free through PlayStation.
So good, so good. Neil Druckmann, who is the creative director behind, I believe he did 4, 4, and Lost Legacy. He was an executive producer on this movie. So
good.
I feel that's, it's always helpful to have somebody who is very in depth with the game be involved with the movie, just to make sure like certain things are going on. But as it is, there's always going to be those detractors and those people who are just yelling at their TVs when they see the trailers, like, Tom Holland can't be Nathan Drake, he's too young. And it's like, well, maybe it's that doesn't make sense.
I've always heard this was supposed to be a younger version.
It is.
Anyway. That's the point. Like, that's how the movie plays out. Like, it's like, oh, this is just a young Nathan Drake. Just watch the fucking movie and it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird how that works, huh?
Mark Wahlberg as Victor Sullivan, I'm kind of in that, like, why did we do this type thing? Because he's Mark Wahlberg. The thing about Victor Sullivan in the games was he was just, this is an older gentleman who is very, he's very wise. He's very, like, he plays into the same traits as what Mark Wahlberg does in this movie. But Mark Wahlberg just didn't sell it for me as much as if we had someone else play that role. I don't know per se who I'd want to be playing Sully, but Mark Wahlberg was kind of not it for me. He wasn't terrible, but they could have done better.
I agree. I don't mind him, but he's not like a video game. He does fine as like a mentor character, but he's not like the Sully from the video games.
Right. One of the things that I have to complain about in this movie, which it looked cool and everything, and I was like, okay, was the fact that Nathan Drake in the games, and I'm going to do this throughout this entire episode. I'm just going to literally be like, in the games type deal. Or like they didn't do. Nathan Drake is just a dude. Like he doesn't really have any crazy set of skills other than the fact that he is very good at stealing shit. He's a very good thief.
Yeah.
He's he can handle himself in hand-to-hand combat and with weapons. But there was like the parkour shit that Tom Holland was doing. I was like, I don't remember this. Like when he's grabbing the railings at the auction house and like swinging on the railings, then he jumps onto the lights and all that. I was like, what is happening? Like he's like jumping off the side of the thing and punching a dude. And I was like, it's cool that Tom Holland got to do all that, because I'm guaranteeing he did a lot of his own stunts because he's very athletic and is very skilled in those areas. But it just felt weird for Uncharted for me. Like,
oh, good.
Nathan Drake is Indiana Jones. He really is. Indiana Jones wasn't, he could handle himself in a hand-to-hand combat, but there was times where if he ran into somebody who was more skilled than him, he's going to get his ass kicked. I just didn't feel that with Tom Holland, even though he does get his ass kicked a few times by, especially, what's her name? Joe, like the baddie there, the other baddie.
Well, I will say this. I've only played the first two, and there's not any like moment that really just screams parkour for me in any of those that I remember. It's been a while since I beat the first two. But being as this younger Nathan Drake and kind of how I don't know how his origin varies in this one as opposed to the games, if they've even gone that far back. But like, I just feel that's something he would know how to do. Like being in foster homes or whatever, and essentially being a thief and into like, that kind of behavior, that lifestyle, he would need to train himself to be able to get away from situations. Ergo, he would in theory know how to. When fighting wasn't going to work, he would have to know how to flight. And I
Right.
feel being able to do parkour is just a natural extension of that.
I agree.
In my mind.
I think in the state of this movie, it made
Yeah,
sense.
like the movie version of him. Like again, I can't compare. Like I don't know about that because the Nathan Drake in the games is obviously much older than the one in the movies,
Right.
even like interpretation wise. So I get what you're saying.
Sophia Ali, she's the one who plays Chloe Fraser, and to be honest, I think out of all the characters in the movie that are based on characters from the games, she is the closest.
Yeah,
the way
I
she
agree.
looks, the way she talks, the way she acts. This, of course, this is a younger version of that character as well, because this is the first time her and Nate meet. And when you first meet her in the games is in Uncharted 2, where they've known each other for a while. They were romantically involved, and it's kind of that like tension, romantic tension throughout the series. She's a great character in the games, and to be honest, she's one of my favorite characters in this movie. Just the way that everybody's backstabbing each other, and that's just how it goes in I guess in this world.
Part of the game, dude.
Yep. There's no trust among thieves, as they say.
But isn't one of the games Honor Among Thieves? No, that's Sly Cooper.
Well,
fuck.
Uncharted 2 is Among Thieves, and then Uncharted 4 is Thieves' End.
Yeah, that's I'm probably thinking of that, and then Sly Cooper.
It's PlayStation, right?
It is a PlayStation IP.
Music was done by Ramin. I cannot pronounce this guy's name. Ramin Dawandi. He's the one who did the music for Blade 2.
Yes.
This guy has done music for a lot of stuff. He's like we talked about in our Blade 2 episode. He's a very, very big composer. Did music for Westworld. He's done music for, he's done music for a bunch of video games and TV, movies. Batman Begins. He helped Hans Zimmer with some of the score there. This dude's done a lot. Let's just say that.
I was right. It was Sly Cooper 3, Honor Among Thieves.
There you go.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Shoot, what the hell was it? Oh, later in the movie, I do have something that I was like, oh, that kind of sucked. That didn't happen in this movie. But I just had a moment like, bing.
You could go. We're not doing any plot breakdown on this. So if you want to talk about something, just talk about it.
But I didn't know if we were gonna do spoilers. So like we're doing spoilers.
This movie's been out for like a month and a half. If people,
not a month and a half. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks.
No, it hasn't. Has it? When did this?
It's only been a couple weeks.
You said February 18th.
February 18th. It's okay. It's been a few weeks.
It's been almost 2 weeks.
All right, we're gonna talk about spoilers, everybody. So if you haven't seen Uncharted yet, go see Uncharted and then watch this. All right.
Okay, yeah. So,
thanks.
We should just stop having a spoiler-free thing. We should just go into it like guys we're spoiling this fucking movie.
Do not.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever you want. I'm just throwing it out there. But anyway, there was no supernatural element to this one.
Nope. Which is weird because that's how all the games work.
Yeah, see, I don't want to know nothing. I've not played 3 or 4 of the other ones, but I was in the first one. I was like, yeah, like you're doing stuff, and there's like these cave demons. I was like, sweet. And then the second one, you're like, oh, here's like this ancient superpowered tribe. Sweet.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Like I like that. I like that.
Fight like a cracked out like Russian guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Great times. It's fucking great.
He took some powerful drugs. We call it Soviet snow.
Oh boy. We're gonna keep that talk to a minimum or 0.
A minimum or 0. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that was my big thing. But I don't know. I was gonna say something else. I had something else. Did I tell you I was gonna say something else?
You said
about no supernatural stuff.
Ding.
Oh, the only 2 references I caught were Chloe, of course, or her earlier appearance, but obviously it's from the second game. And then Sam, his brother.
Yeah, who doesn't show up until the 4th game. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I was like, that's the only 2, like, well, outside of the cameo. But those the only solid references to the games that really jumped out at me.
I recognized his holster.
I know when he had his holster on.
Oh yeah, they had the
shoulder holster.
And when he puts it on, man, he puts it on very epically. And then when he goes to like whip out the pistol, man, I threw on my shoulder just watching him do that. Like he just whips his arm. You're like, oh wow, damn, bro.
He's ready to fuck a bitch, dude.
Those
holsters are expensive.
Yeah,
leather shoulder holsters like $200.
He doesn't go without his shoulder holsters. This is Nate Drake, all right? This is the real Nate Drake. That's what all the true Uncharted fans were crying when they saw Tom Holland was cast. That's the real Nathan Drake.
No, at least we got to see we got to see Nolan North.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, you could, if you've played the games, you can hear his voice because his normal voice is Nathan Drake.
I know, that's so great. I was like, oh, that happened to me once. I was like,
It's so good. And he's wearing a shirt. The shirt that Nolan North is wearing when you see him in the cameo is the shirt that young Nathan Drake wears in Uncharted 3. When you see him,
I had no idea
when he's a kid. He's wearing. Yeah, thought it was a cool little throwback. I believe he might be wearing it in that PSP or not PSP, the PS Vita Uncharted game.
Ah,
yeah.
There we get a reference.
So, like I said before, this movie took a long time to go into production. And of course, once they finally got it into production, COVID happened. So they filmed a lot of it. Then they had to stop. Then they had to come back. And it was a whole thing. But it's finally here. And to be honest, when I first heard about it back in 2008, 2009, which I bought Uncharted in 2008. It was like a year after it came out is when I bought a PS3 and bought that game. So good. It's definitely one of the worst ones, but
the worst of the best.
Yeah. I followed the whole thing with Uncharted. You're like, oh my God, we're going to get an Uncharted movie. And then you never hear about it for like a few years. And then it would come back into circulation and then it would disappear again. You're like, okay, I feel like this movie is never going to be made. They can't make up their damn mind. And now we have it. And people just are like, yeah.
Well, I mean, realistically, though, like for as long as this movie was in and out of development, the little development hell it was in, the COVID shutdown, everything, this really wasn't that bad of a movie. This actually, I think, came out pretty well. I enjoyed it.
I had a lot of fun with it. Of course,
absolutely.
as a fan of the game series, you're going to have your, you're going to pick at certain things, but I went into it as just, it's a fucking movie, man. Like of course they're going to take the creative liberties and do certain things, tweak how certain things go. It's just being that guy who points at the screen, like, that's not how it happened is just stupid. It's just a waste of fucking time.
You're getting more media from a franchise you enjoy. Just enjoy it.
Back when Angelina Jolie was cast as Lara Croft, did people yell at the screens like, her tits aren't triangles? And you're like, because that's a fucking video game for PS1.
They probably did.
Probably did.
Yeah. Well, see, we deal with this a lot in my fandom. It's like they get something new and something different and they piss and moan about it. You're like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? I just like, you're getting something. And admittedly, if you don't like it, that's fine. Don't like it. But you don't need to write. We don't need like this essay and like biblical prophecy about how this is wrong and stupid and it's the damnation of this franchise. Like, guys, it's one entry. It's cool. I'm talking about Godzilla, obviously. Like, we're 36 films in.
I got what you were talking about.
We're 36 fucking films in, guys. Anytime anybody's
They're
like,
never going to be happy.
Let them do something different. It's fucking fine. If you don't like it, you got 30 other ones you can go back and watch.
It's crazy with, when things are changed and people they're just so set on one thing and then something new comes out and they're like, fuck that. I remember watching the God of War 2018 trailer, back in 2016, and people were like, this isn't God of War, because of the way it was presented and where it was and all that. It's like, and now it's like the people can't like, it's my favorite game of all time. It's a fucking masterpiece because it did something different and there's an actual story.
yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
It's not just angry.
It's just like angry guy kills everything, which I love those games.
Yeah, they are fun.
And beds the ladies.
It beds all the ladies.
Doesn't bed any ladies in the new one. Spoiler alert.
Well, he already did. And got
he had to kill him.
Yeah.
Fucking great. God damn.
Sorry, it's Atreus' turn. When he gets a little bit older, he's gonna bed all the ladies.
When are we getting a God of War movie? I want that. I do.
Who would you cast as Kratos?
I don't know. The Rock.
What the fuck?
He
Why
already looks
not?
like him. Just Dave Bautista.
If they could make him jacked and somehow younger.
Yeah, that's the
Russell-
problem. Is you got to
Russell-
find
no,
like a
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
If they can make him jacked and younger.
Did you ever see? Have you seen the new movie he's in where he plays like a deranged like stalker?
I have no
I
idea.
can't
Never heard.
fucking remember what the movie's called.
I was gonna bring up another movie. We can't talk about that. It's gonna take us way too off track.
Yeah. So yeah, what did so you had fun with it, right? Like you had a good time.
I go. Do you want to say your? I'll say it while you're looking. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a good action movie. It was enjoyable. I know some people didn't care on him. I mean, obviously, Tom Holland put his own spin on the character, and Marky Mark put his own twist on the character. And I really enjoyed the banter. Angela will tell you, I was like, I don't know. I maybe it's because I like the games. Like I was way more into it. Found it way more entertaining than most of the other people in the audience did. There wasn't a huge crowd, but I found some of the jokes I legitimately laughed at in the movie theater. The gunplay, the action was fun. The beginning movie is like the Italian Job 2.
The beginning movie?
The beginning of the movie, I'm sorry. It's like the Italian Job 2.
Yeah, but it's a
throwback
throwback
it's like a heist.
to yeah. Are you talking about the plane?
No.
Like the very beginning?
The whole beginning of the movie. Like not counting the plane bit, but like him coming into his own and them trying to get the
okay.
key.
I get what you're saying.
It's literally a heist film.
Yeah,
I was just waiting for somebody to like look at the other one like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. But nobody said it. But anyway, like the beginning of that just felt like a heist film. So it made me think the Italian Job, which Mark Wahlberg was in.
Yeah. Great movie.
So I was thinking the Italian Job too. It is. I like that movie. I got it. It's also got
Edward Norton.
Yep, Edward Norton was it. But anyway,
Jason Statham. We keep going.
Why not? Fuck yeah.
Just keep on going.
The beginning was a little slow, like the beginning. So of course they got a lot to set up for people who never played Uncharted.
Right.
But I felt the beginning was a little slow. But like the second half of the movie was great. It felt like an Uncharted game. It was action, chasing people down, double crosses, and shit like that.
I wish I had a counter for how many double crosses there were in this movie.
Absolutely, boats in the sky.
Yeah.
Flying boats.
I mean, really, flying boats.
Flying
Come on.
boats.
Hell yeah.
They would not have lasted that long.
They would have, but hey,
absolutely not.
They probably wouldn't have made it out of the
What were they
trees.
anchoring? What were they anchoring it to? Like, what was it? What were the cords attached to? Like, because that boat cannot be that. Like, it's got to be so brittle.
I'm surprised they walked through it.
Right?
Yeah.
Now they're hanging freaking 400 feet into the air.
It's like when we watched Batman and the dude fell through the floor of the clock tower. I'm like, that's what would happen in these boats.
Yeah.
That was exactly funny.
What happened. Yeah, that was. I was like, why is this at? Okay. But anyway, it was good. I liked the writing. I liked the banter. The action was fun. I just thought the beginning was a little slow. And I liked the characters and I liked the writing. I thought it was a good movie. Your turn.
My turn.
Mm-hmm. She fell asleep.
I did not.
Just kidding.
For never
Thank you. Yes.
Oh Lord.
For never playing any of the Uncharted games for what it was, loved it. There were still some scenes where I was like, CG's.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the CG
Yeah.
was dodgy at times.
There's a lot of CG in this movie, but with the
There was
situations,
just a couple of places that were like, eh.
I want real galleons in the sky.
They took the ships from Pirates of the Caribbean and were like, we're putting them in the air.
That's right.
But I love Tati Gabriel. I've seen her and
Who'd she play?
She's in the 100.
Who'd she play?
She played Joe Braddock.
She's Braddock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was good.
She fucks people up, dude.
She's in You, but I love her. So
why is there nobody complaining about literally women getting the shit kicked out of them in this movie? But also kicking a lot of ass.
Oh yeah.
It's hey dude. I mean, if you're gonna do that, it's got to be equal, man. Like she was kicking people's asses, dude.
Oh, she destroyed. I mean, the fact that she just walks up to Antonio Banderas and just slits his throat and just like, I was waiting for her to like lick the knife too. I was like, man, that would have added a nice touch.
How many people saw that coming?
To be honest, I didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't.
I was like, okay.
I knew that she was
working. him
Right.
all
Yeah.
this time.
The way that she acted around him throughout the movie before she ends up killing him, you know, it seemed like she was scared of him. Like he had like some sort of like he was a really scary guy.
See, I thought like that's something she would have done to like Chloe's character, because obviously she doesn't like Chloe's character, especially with when she joins them for a little bit or helps them out for a little bit. But yeah, I was like, okay, let's see how this plays out.
Boy, does she get a death.
No, yeah, she does. She gets a hell of one.
Yep. So, do you ever get thrown off when you see Marky Mark like talking smart stuff? Like he starts talking about like they like read like I don't think Marky Mark reads a book. I don't think he reads books. All right. I can't buy him reading these texts about ancient shit or fucking treasure hunting.
Not.
I just can't buy it. Like I like Mark Wahlberg and you know, he'd just absolutely destroy me, but I just can't buy him being this type of person.
But watching him when they're trying to escape the water and he's looking down the grate, I'm like, yep, that's his personality coming out. He's like, I can't get it up. I'm like, you're not supposed to.
Like I will admit that there are a few moments he's like, turn to the right, and he's like, I was just guessing it was a 50-50 shot. Turn it clockwise or counterclockwise.
Yeah.
It's like he clearly, like, there are moments he's like, this is shit that I don't give a fuck about. Like, that's why he has, of course.
You was at that face, you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly. He's like that felt like just Mark Wahlberg being Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Like I don't fucking care.
Mark Wahlberg's never going to watch this show, so I'm not going to talk shit, but I'm just going to say Mark Wahlberg plays Mark Wahlberg in almost every movie he's in. And this is another movie where he pretty much plays himself.
Yeah.
But again, it looks like they're having fun because I think the banter is fun.
I didn't hate him. I didn't watch this going, fuck Mark Wahlberg, because Victor Sullivan is such a cool character in the games. Because he's this old gruff man who's just like smoking a cigar and not giving a fuck. He's just hoping Nate gets the shit. He comes back and he just gets to, you know, graze in the glory. Cut. Yeah, exactly. But the banter between him and Tom Holland was great. I thought they had a really good rapport with each other, and
they did.
A lot of moments that made me chuckle. Some people in my theater were laughing really loud. Like
I was the only one that laughed out loud.
One time I had one really good laugh out loud. I don't remember what the fuck it was, but I liked it. I'm sorry. I thought the banter was great.
It was good. And Chloe,
I was wondering why you moved to the next aisle over.
I didn't
know. Chloe's character, again, she's great. She felt like Chloe Fraser from the games.
Yeah.
And Sophie, you say Tati Gabriel, she did really good. She fucking scared me, to be honest, in some parts. She just was like, holy, I don't want to fuck with her. And the fact that Mark Wahlberg was beating her ass, I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Like, I feel like she would own this shit out of him. But I get for the scene, you had to make it a little more of an equal fight. But she just seemed fucking ruthless.
Because I've watched her fight in the 100, and like you physically see her fight somebody else, and it's one-sided. She would definitely kick his ass.
To be honest, the scene that really made me laugh out loud, and it was a scene that was in the trailer, and I didn't think I was going to actually laugh because I saw it in the trailer. I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. It was the scene where the Scottish guy goes up to Nate and just says something, and he's just like, what?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, no, hang on. Seriously, I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's so good.
To be honest, I was like, where's the subtitles on this guy?
No
kidding,
shit.
Right?
I did understand like the first thing he said, but then when he just goes at it, I'm like, huh?
Oh, okay.
You just get that glazed look, clouded over, like you're good. Checked out.
So this movie was budgeted $120 million or around that, which is a lot of money. But in 2022, that's kind of normal. And as of right now, it's at 231.2 million. I don't know if it's been a success. Like, I haven't really read anything saying, oh, it's super sick, because I want a sequel. I really do. I want to see what they can do next with this franchise. And so I'm always like, come on, do good. so that we get at least one more, because they set something up that relates to one of the games going forward. And of course they had to give Sully his mustache.
Yes. What happened to you? Well, when you hit puberty, kid, you'll understand.
Yeah.
Keep it. You finish. That was what
I like that they didn't really stick to the game. Like, they didn't go, okay, so this movie we're going to do Drake's Fortune. This next one we'll do, Among Thieves. They took it, they did their own thing. They incorporated some key things from the games into the movies. Some that you kind of had to pay attention to, and if you weren't, then you didn't see it. I like the way that the movie opens. It opens with that epic plane shot where he's dangling off, which is very much reminiscent to number 2 on the train.
Yeah. Oh, I love that part of the train.
Yeah, it's
so good.
You literally see everything happening, and then it goes back to the beginning. It cuts to when he was a kid with his brother, which is pretty much, it's ripped from Uncharted 4. There's a scene where you see something very similar to this happen, where it's young Nate and young Sam, trying to steal something, but it has to do with something completely different. This one is trying to find the map to Magellan's treasure instead of, I think it had something to do with Francis Drake in Uncharted 4.
Of course, where the whole, their names.
And in this movie, Nate and Sam's last name is Drake, which they just said that they are related to Francis. They are descendants of Francis Drake. In the game, it was a name they kind of inherited. It was kind of a name that they just kind of took. Their name wasn't Drake, but they had to escape their past lives because their parents died and all that. They incorporated the Drake name and pretty much just told people that they were descendants of Sir Francis Drake, which is how the whole first game kind of goes, because it's all about Drake.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty cool. And people are mad at that. People just enjoy it. All right. As somebody who is a huge fan of these game series, just enjoy this. Stop nitpicking at everything.
Exactly. You got nothing better to do but fucking be a keyboard commando and just tear things apart and just let people have fun.
Exactly.
It makes me want to play the next 3 and 4. I really want to play those too.
I really need to play through the rest of this series again. I need to just go through them again because they're so fun.
He does have my shirt. Why the fuck you got my shirt, dude?
This is my shirt.
Damn it.
This is a Target special right here.
Ours holes.
I said Parker's wearing his PlayStation shirt. Right. Where's yours?
He's got to wear his official Dissect That Film uniform. All right?
That's right. And then I'm going to wear my uniform again tomorrow and then not for 2 days because I'm off for the weekend.
So glad tomorrow's Friday.
We're going to ship Parker down here to warmer weather.
I'll be heading south in 5-6 months. So
where are you going? I'll tell us later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that's too fucking personal for this shit. What the hell? So yeah, we'll get a sequel in 14 years.
I hope not. But...
Oh, I was gonna say Sony actually made a tweet after the opening weekend about. I'm pretty sure it was Sony that made a tweet or on their blog or something about their successful new movie franchise. So they referred to it as
good. I
mean, they made in its opening week worldwide. Would it make $140, something like that?
Something like
140 mil. Which I mean, right there, you're covering your cost. I mean, you'll at least make probably. I would say the movie's probably gonna at least make $400 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been out for a few months, and
that's not. Yeah, it's not even counting.
Or a few months, a few weeks. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not even counting streaming or home movie purchases, digital purchase. They'll make. What, $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 when you start factoring all that stuff in?
Right.
I mean, that's a good start to a new franchise, and this being the first one.
It just it's very disappointing if they don't make a sequel to this because of the way that they set everything up. And I feel with a movie franchise like this, it has a lot of there's a lot of things that they can take from. The games, there's so much out there that they could do. They can take the stories from the games and kind of put their own little twist to them, and then You know, because there's a lot of people who've never played the games that who just went and saw the movie. So yeah, exactly.
One of us.
So why not just retell the games in more of a theatrical form? Incorporate a couple of the different, like they did with this. I thought it was really cool the way that they did everything in this movie. The way that they have Drake younger, it's not just him coming out like kind of Indiana Jones style, where it's an older, experienced treasure hunter, where he is an inexperienced treasure hunter who has to find somebody who is more experienced. And they have to try to find this really impossible, what people thought was an impossible treasure.
Yeah, exactly. I always like that part of the Uncharted games where like they start figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And it's cool, like I don't know. It's not only leaps in logic, but where like the connections they make. And it's always like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming.
To be honest, when I'm thinking back at this movie, I think the biggest gripe I have, I think the flying ships thing, I think was really unnecessary. I don't think we needed that. I think it would have been really cool if there was like at the encounter at the end was them in that cave with those ships and you have a really cool ship battle between them. You know, the ships aren't on the water, of course, but you have some sort of fight there instead of them being fucking flying through the air. It's just more excuse to use a crazy amount of CGI that just kind of didn't look great. And I was like, I feel like you could have done better, because the final fights of a lot of the Uncharted games are on the ground. It's all you're fighting a boss, of course, and everything is more grounded. But you could have those final theatricals, because there's like, I think at the end of Uncharted 2, you're literally running across a bridge that's like toppling behind you as you're running towards the screen, and it's just really fucking tense. And to be honest, it didn't feel tense at the end of this movie. And they kind of just and the fact that Chloe was so integral, I think, to the story, and then they kind of Nate tricked her, and then she just disappears and then shows up at the very end after everything's all said and done. You're like, well, that was disappointing.
Just write her out of the last act of the film.
Yeah.
I will say, admittedly, she fucked herself at the end of it. I'm just going to throw that out there. She didn't have to steal that and run off and leave the note.
Yeah. Well,
that was on her.
It's just that's what this movie is. It's just backstabbing everywhere.
Yeah.
All
he
the
was
time.
just ready. He just had a backup plan.
Yeah. I do like the plane scene. I think a lot of it's kind of torn with some fans on how the plane scene was recreated. This is a pull from Uncharted 3, which is literally the fucking like biggest set piece of Uncharted 3 is them falling out, him trying to hold on outside of a cargo plane.
I figured that was from one of the games.
The game, though, it's above a desert, where this one's above the ocean. And Tom Holland gets hit by a car and seemingly seems fine.
He's all right. He walks it off.
Yeah, he does. He just. And then the fact that you are flying through the air with no parachute on, and you could grab onto a strap on the side of a crate, and your arm doesn't get ripped off, or your shoulder doesn't get dislocated, or you just die. It's wild.
That's movies. That's the movie for you right there.
Them hitting the water on the crate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't have been feeling too hot.
No, absolutely not. Oh,
Mr.
man.
Toe's Wild Ride.
Yeah. With I thought like certain parts where Mark Wahlberg's character wasn't there, and they're like, I feel like they just wrote him out because he was busy doing something else and they couldn't get him that day to shoot. So they're like, well, Sully's over on the other side of the island, or he's somewhere else.
Mark, where you at? I'm busy getting some. I'll be back in 2 days. Okay, we need you for the shot. I'll be back in 2 days.
Yeah, I got 3 other movies I'm filming. Like, relax. It's kind of like Wesley Snipes for Blade.
I wonder who else was supposed to direct this movie. Do you have any idea?
So I have a list. I can get my mouse over.
Check it twice.
David O. Russell, Neil Berger, Seth Gordon, Sean Levy, Dan Trachtenberg, and Travis Knight. They all signed to direct, while Wahlberg was set to play Drake. But in 2017, Holland was cast as Drake and Fleischer was hired as the director. Well, actually, no, he wasn't hired until early 2020.
Damn. Even with Holland attached, it took 5 years.
It took 3 to get a director after Holland was signed.
Oh, I just meant for the movie to come out. Period.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's just wild. I mean,
That's
it just.
nuts.
I think it was the fact that Sony just had so many things that they wanted to make sure were getting. I mean, Spider-Man, of course. Even though it is part of Marvel Studios, it is a Sony. Like Sony is huge very integral into getting those movies out. You know, they had to make the Venom movies. I mean, those were more important. People needed to see Venom. I mean, I wanted to see Venom, but fortunately, I haven't gotten a good Venom film yet.
Damn, that's just a dick smack right there.
I love Venom, man. I just love him, and I don't know, man. I just can't.
I enjoyed the Venom movies.
I mean, anything is better than Topher Grace.
Or Topher Grace.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the visuals were really good. Other than there was some shoddy CG in certain places. I like that they went to different parts, like the Barcelona. A lot of the Barcelona scenes looked really good because I think some of it was filmed in Barcelona. So I thought that was really cool.
I like the scenes in Papa John's.
Yes. They
I'm
had to go
literally in a Papa John's.
Yeah, I like how we had to make mention to it. Like, what the hell?
Dude, it was such a good fight, dude. I like the little
the fight between him and Joe. Or,
what her name
Sully.
is.
Yeah.
Oh,
he like throws her into that fucking window.
Yeah. Because he's got to get the key in there.
Who was it, him or her that got? I was like, oh, their back's gonna be hurting after that. I think it was her.
I can't remember.
He picks her up and like throws her or something, but before the window. Or somebody hits a pole or something. I'm like, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah.
Damn. So yeah, that's Uncharted. I mean, I don't really know what else to really talk about. I'm not going to go through the plot. Maybe at some point when it comes out on streaming services, maybe we'll rewatch it and do a full podcast episode on it, just so I can watch it again, be refreshed, and have some notes and stuff on it. This is kind of a what did we think type deal. You know, something that's a new release. It's not something that we really go too crazy in depth on. Texas Chainsaw was a little bit different because it was a streaming movie, so it was a lot easier for me. I could sit down at my house and you know, write notes. I'm not writing notes in a movie at a theater, so at some point, at some point we will rewatch this movie. We'll do a full podcast episode on it. Hopefully maybe when the sequel's announced or whatever and we're able to do it. But as right now, we're just kind of having a discussion what we thought of this movie, all the different pieces that we liked, disliked, or whatever. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I definitely I'm probably going to get it when it comes out on digital or physical, just because, of course, I'm an Uncharted fan, so I have to have that. I got to collect anything that's Uncharted. Yeah, I got my stuff. I just got to get a Tom Holland Nathan Drake to go with my Nathan Drake.
That's right.
The real Nathan Drake.
I liked how Tom Holland actually did time in a bar. He went to bartending school.
I read that. That's really cool.
He was into it, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my gosh. When they were in Barcelona in that bar, and he hits that motherfucker in the head with that glass bottle, and you don't get the usual break. It's just that thunk, like when he nails him with it. I was like, yes, there's some proper glass right there.
So good. So good.
Somebody switched out the prop glass for a real glass.
That man is dead.
And now he's knocked out. Yeah. He has a concussion.
So that is it for Uncharted from us today. If you guys have anything...
go watch it. Go
watch it. We definitely all recommend it. We all recommend it.
Absolutely.
Either go see it in theaters or wait till it comes out digitally.
It's a 2-hour movie. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Doesn't feel like a 2-hour
go into
movie.
it. The thing about these movies is that you can't go into it with super high expectations. All right, you just go in and just watch it as an adventure movie. It's it's just a crazier version of Indiana Jones in a way. Like I don't want to compare it to Indiana Jones because the Indiana Jones franchise is just so sacred. This is just Indiana Jones on crack. All right. And it's a lot of fun.
That's fair.
And if you've never played the games and you're, a gamer, play the games. There are PlayStation exclusive games, but they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can get the whole collection you get the whole collection on PS4, and they have graphical updates for PS5, which are, you can play them on a PS5 as well.
Very cool.
And I think if you have a PS5 and have PlayStation, or you're on PlayStation Plus, pretty sure you can get all the Uncharted games for free.
The Indiana Jones community is gonna come after.
I don't care.
Fuck the Indiana
Jones. I love Indiana Jones.
Fuck them, and I'm never watching them
until we cover them.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's gonna be like, what series you guys want to cover next? Oh, Indiana Jones.
Listen, everybody, Indiana Jones 5 just wrapped production, so
I saw that.
Let's go, James Mangold. I'm very excited. I don't know why I'm so excited when you have 80-year-old Harrison Ford still playing Indiana Jones.
As long as there's no refrigerators in that movie, you should be all right.
I don't know why people complain about that scene so much. It was great.
I'm just
gold.
I'm just going with the. I've never seen the movie, so I can fucking tell you. And I don't care. I'm just going with the trope. The May.
Oh boy. All right. Well, so the schedule for this week when it comes to content is we have today, when you watch this episode, will be on a Monday. And then Wednesday will be our video debut of our Resident Evil episode. So episode 10 of the show, we're putting it out in video form. That'll be out on Wednesday. And then on Friday will be our Batman Returns episode with Justin from Epic Film Guys. Woo! Very excited about that. So I hope it's already been recorded when you watch this, but I'm very excited to talk to Justin, and I hope you guys are very excited to listen or watch that episode.
A Batman shirt.
Yes, I gotta go get a Batman shirt. I know I'm talking like this. People are very confused. They're like, "What are you talking about?" The future.
Exactly. The future is now. Everything's chrome in the future.
Mm-hmm. And since we are doing the Batman franchise, we are going to be, our next fresh cut will be on The Batman, which comes out, well, it actually, as with you guys watching it now, is already out. So
so come listen to what we have to say before you watch a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, once we all watch it, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a discussion on it in the same vein as this. And yeah, that's about it. I don't want to go too far into the future because things can change and happen and whatever. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel down below. Make sure wherever you listen to the podcast, make sure you rate us 5 stars or rate us whatever stars you think we deserve. Write us a review on if you listen to us on any app that allows you to write a review, or just give us the stars. It's fine.
All the stars.
All the stars. And if you want to recommend a movie or a movie franchise that we haven't covered yet, and you're like, man, I really wish they talk about them Transformers movies, put them in the comments.
Don't do that. Don't fucking do that shit.
It's going to happen, so.
I know, but don't do it now.
No. We need to just decompress and you do something really good. I mean, we're doing Batman. Yeah. It's not that bad.
I need to keep Shia LaBeouf as far away from me as physically possible.
Do it.
Do it. All right, everybody. I am your host, Brett Parker. That is DNA Gaming, consisting of Dan and Angela. This has been Dissect That Film Fresh Cut. We are Dissect That Film, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.